Jehovih said, by virtue of my presence I created the seen and unseen worlds. And I commanded man to name them, and man called the seen worlds Corpor, and the unseen worlds Es, and the inhabitants of Corpor, man called Corporians. But the inhabitants of Es he sometimes called Essence, and sometimes spirits, and sometimes angels. Jehovih said, I created the earth, and fashioned it, and placed it in the firmament, and by my presence, brought man forth a living being. I gave him a corporeal body so that he could learn corporeal things, and I made death so that he could rise in the firmament and inherit my Etherian worlds. To Es I gave dominion over Corpor, with Es I filled all place in the firmament, even within Corpor. But Corpor I made into earths, moons, stars and suns, beyond number I made them, and I caused them to float in the places I allotted to them. Es I divided into 2 parts, and I commanded man to name them, and he called one Etheria and the other Atmospheria. These are the 3 kinds of worlds I created, corporeal, atmospherian, and Etherian. But I gave different densities to atmospherian worlds, and different densities to the Etherian worlds. For the substance of my Etherian worlds I created Eth, the most rarefied. Out of Eth I made them. And I made Eth the subtlest of all created things, and gave it power and place, not only by itself, but also power to penetrate and exist within all things, even within the corporeal worlds. And to Eth I gave dominion over both Atmospheria and Corpor. In the all highest places I created the Etherian worlds, and I made them of all shapes and sizes, similar to my corporeal worlds. But I made the Etherian worlds inhabitable both within and without, with entrances and exits, in arches and curves, thousands of miles high and wide, and in colors, movable chasms and mountains in endless change and brilliance. And over them I rule, with all perfect mechanism. To them I gave motions, orbits and courses of their own, and I made them independent, and above all other worlds in potency and majesty. Nor did I create one Etherian world like another in size, density or in component parts, but every one differing from another, and with a glory matchless each in its own way. I also created atmospherian worlds in the firmament, and gave them places, orbits and courses for themselves. But atmospherian worlds I created shapeless and without fixed form, for they are in the process of condensation or dissolution, being intermediate in condition between my Etherian and my corporeal worlds. Of 3 degrees of density I created them, and I commanded man to name them, and one he called Jai, and one Agi and one Nebulae. But all of them are composed of the same substances, being like the earth, but rarefied. Nor is there on the earth or in it, one thing, whether iron, lead, gold, water, oil, or stones, that is not also in my atmospherian worlds. As I have given light to the earth, so have I given light to many of them, and all these I have commanded man to call comets. And he named them so. And I also created atmospheria around my corporeal worlds, together I made them,